Hello and welcome to episode 14 of Murkey's Halftime Tea. This episode is called Start Worrying and Love the SPG. This is actually based on a request I got for a video to help people who have trouble using the SPG in an effective manner. And so effectively I'm going to show a bunch of clips of me and some of my 3DAC mates using the SPG, hopefully to good effect, and go through exactly what we do and why we do it and what works and some recommendations for using the SPG. So without further ado, let's sit back and enjoy. Cheers! So first off, the basics. The SPG is available to all the irregular forces. We're talking militia, Taliban, Iraqi insurgents, the Syrian militia, and it usually spawns at main, and effectively you have a driver position, an SPG, which is a massive recoilless rifle. Think of it like a massive RPG with a scope, and you have, I think it's an RPK or an RPD in the F3, the third position. Frankly, the RPD or RPK, the machine gun, is pretty shit. And so what you need to know about the SPG is it's got a very, very effective recoilless rifle on it, the actual SPG itself. It has fragmentation and high explosive munitions, which you can switch between using the F key for Foxtrot by default. And obviously the frag works best against lightly armoured vehicles and infantry soft targets, and the heat is high explosive anti-tank and works best against armoured targets. And as you can see, when we're driving around, I'm pressing C for Charlie to switch between the scope and looking over the top of the gun, so I have greater situational awareness. Besides being very well armed, being a techie, it's also very mobile, very agile. You can drive it fast, you can drive it up steep inclines. You should be able to access almost everywhere with it. But conversely, being a techie, it's also incredibly vulnerable. As a gunner and a driver, you can be killed by small arms from infantry very easily and just be wasted because you're dead inside a vehicle. And also, if you get shot by anything like a LAT or any explosions, any munitions from an APC or tank, you're going to go down really, really fast. So whilst you're very mobile and have a very strong gun, you're also incredibly vulnerable, so that's always worth considering. What this effectively means is you should use the techie, you should always have a gunner and a driver. You shouldn't try and one-man it. And when you do use it, you should either set it up as an ambush position, so go stationary and wait for the enemy vehicles or target to come to you, so that way you're hidden, you're safe, you shoot them and you move out, or you try and get intelligence from your team, from your squad mates, from your commander, whoever it is, which means you really want the driver to be a squad leader. And when you have intel on a target, you roll up hard and fast, shoot off an SPG, missile, rocket or two, and then you get out of town, because as I say, you are really vulnerable. So either lie in wait, ambush, or wait for intel, and once you know where they are, and preferably when you know, for example, if an APC is looking away from your direction, then you approach, shoot, and scoot. Just shoot and get out of town. And then RTB, go back to main to rearm, repair if needs be. As you only get, I think it's 3 explosive, 3 fragmentation rounds and 3 heat. After that you have to rearm, so either way you're only shooting 6 missiles at best before you have to RTB. The last tactical thing I'd like to mention is the use of sound checks. You'll see in these videos often the driver stops the car, gets out, and we have our game volume turned up quite high, we have the sound effects turned up very high, and so we do sound checks by driving around the SPG, getting out and listening for enemy armour or any engine noises we can hear, and then we know if there's anything nearby that we can either move into kill or avoid. And so when you are using SPG, do regular sound checks by stopping the engine and listening. Besides the tactics, the only other thing I'd like to mention is that you will need practice shooting the SPG missile. I have some good clips here of the missile hitting, but as you can see, as with an RPG, the drop is pretty perilous. So after, it should be zeroed for 200 meters on the optics, but after that it's going to drop precipitously. It'll drop really hard, really fast. So you need to aim above the target if it's any distance from you. And furthermore, if the target is moving, you will have to lead the shot a little bit, but not much. I could show you the markings on the optics and how they work, but frankly, because they are a little bit confusing, but frankly, I don't even use the markings on the optic. I've just shot the SPG quite a lot, and I have a feel for where I need to aim, where I need to hold. So if you want to get effective as a gunner on an SPG, I would recommend going on a local server and shooting a lot of rounds at different targets. And once you've had some practice, you can practice on a public server, and eventually you will get a feel for where you have to go. Effectively, use the triangles in the middle of the optic and aim either above the target or on the target depending on distance. So thank you for watching, I hope you found that informative, and good hunting. Cheers.